Hey y'all, hey, Mrs. Yao again. We're going to continue working on comparing and contrasting two stories. So let's do a quick review. So here's our anchor chart, and remember that comparing means we're telling how things are the same or how they're alike or how they're similar. And when we're contrasting, we're telling how things are different. And the special tool that we use to help us to organize our information is called a Venn diagram. So since we're comparing two stories, we put the title of our first story in the first circle and the title of our second story in the second circle. I cannot talk today. And then the things that are the same when we're comparing the stories, the things that are the same, we're going to put in the middle of the two stories where they overlap. And then the things that are different about the stories, we're going to put in the outside circle based on which story we're talking about. Okay, guys, so we are going to read two new stories today. They are called Flightless Bird Penguin and Flightless Bird Ostrich. Okay, so that's kind of small on my screen. I'm going to have to look at a paper in front of me so I can read it a little better. So if you guys see me looking down, it's just because I'm reading it on a paper. Okay, our first story, Flightless Bird Penguin. All birds have wings, which means that all birds can fly, right? Wrong. There are only a handful of birds in the world that can't fly. The penguin is one of them. These cold weather birds use their wings as flippers, which help them swim in the water, as opposed to flapping in the sky. To move from one area to another, penguins either waddle, swim, or slide on their bellies. Okay, so our second story, Flightless Bird Ostrich. All birds have wings, which means that all birds can fly, right? Wrong. There are only a handful of birds in the world that can't fly. The ostrich is one of these flightless birds. They cannot use their wings to fly around. Instead, they use their strong, powerful legs to run at fast speeds. They are the world's largest bird and can run at speeds of about 40 miles an hour. They can also run long distances for long periods of time. This is not always possible for fast runners, such as cheetahs, who need to take breaks. All right, guys, so are you ready to organize our information and to compare and contrast? So to do that, we are going to use our Venn diagram. So our first story was about the penguin, and the second story was about the ostrich. So we're going to organize our information into our Venn diagram. So let's look back at our story, and Miss Yao is going to try to be a little neater today with my underlining skills. We'll see how I do. Okay, so in the first story, we read that the penguin is a bird. And we also read that an ostrich is a bird. So, are those the same or are those different? That's right, they're the same. So in my story, or excuse me, in my Venn diagram, I'm going to put that these are both birds. Okay, so I'm going to put that they are both birds in the middle of my Venn diagram. All right, let's go back to our story and let's look again. So I read that most birds can fly, but not all birds can fly. There's a handful of birds that can't fly, and the penguin is one of them that can't fly. Oh, my underlining skills didn't get any better. So I'm going to underline can't fly for the ostrich. And then I'm going to go back to my Venn diagram, and I'm going to put that both birds can't fly because that's the same about both of them. All right, let's look back again. All right, my next one, cold weather birds. So the penguin is a bird that, whoa, Miss Yao, that was terrible right there. Let's try that again. The penguin is a cold weather bird. Oh, much better. All right, so let me go back to my Venn diagram, and I'm going to put that the penguin is a cold weather bird. Okay, so I'm going to mostly just focus on the penguin for right now, and then we'll go back to the ostrich, and then if we see anything that's the same about both, we'll add those to the middle as we're doing it, or after we get through each of the two different birds. One thing that I forgot to put in the first sentence is that they have wings. They both have wings. So let me go back and add that to the middle because both birds have wings. All birds have wings. That's how we categorize them as birds because they have wings. All right, back to my story about the penguin. All right, they're cold weather birds that use their wings as flippers. So instead of using them as flying tools, they use them as flippers, which help them to swim in the water. Okay, so back to my Venn diagram. So penguins have wings that are used as flippers to help them swim in the water. All right, let's go back to my story. And as opposed to flapping in the sky, is what we said about the flippers and the wings. To move from one area to another, penguins either waddle, swim, or slide on their bellies. So I think that's probably something that's different. When I read the story about ostriches, I didn't see anywhere in there that they waddle, swim, or slide on their bellies to get from place to place. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to add that to my Venn diagram on the penguin side or the ostrich side. That's right, on the penguin side because it's different about the penguin. All right, now I'm going to go to my ostrich story. Okay, so for the ostrich, let's start right here. They cannot use their wings to fly around. Instead, they use their strong, powerful legs to run at fast speeds. That's definitely something that I did not see about the penguin. I read that they're powerful or great swimmers, but not that they are runners, not fast runners. So let's look back at my Venn diagram and let's add that to the penguin side or to the ostrich side. Yes, to the ostrich side. So I'm going to add that they use strong, powerful legs to run at fast speeds. Okay, back to my ostrich story. Okay, they are the world's largest bird and can run at fast speeds of about 40 miles an hour. Well, since they're the world's largest bird, we know that penguins are not the world's largest bird, so that's something different. And they run at speeds of about 40 miles an hour. Penguins do not do that because they swim. They also run for long distances, for long periods of time. So let's go back to our Venn diagram. And I'm going to add world's largest bird. And I'm going to add that they run as fast as 40 miles per hour or long distances of time. All right, let's go back and don't see anything else that's different. I don't see anything else that's the same. So I think you guys have helped me to complete my Venn diagram. All right, guys, great job with comparing and contrasting. I hope that it's getting a little bit easier for you. We will continue to work on this. So if you're still struggling with it, it is okay, guys, because we're going to keep practicing it for a long time. It's kind of a hard skill when you move from comparing and contrasting two things to comparing and contrasting two stories because you really have to pay attention to what the story's telling you. And if you don't pay attention to what the story's telling you, then that makes it a little harder for you to complete your Venn diagram. So we'll keep working on it, and thumbs up for doing a great job. I'll see you when I see you. Bye, guys.